And starting at center,
A first-time champion will be crowned in the 2A Girls Basketball State Final. It is City of Life Christian out of Kissimmee taking on Calvary Christian from Ormond Beach this afternoon from the RP Funding Center in Lakeland as we continue our coverage of the 2018 FHSAA Girls Basketball State Championships. Good afternoon, everyone. With Travis Jones, I'm Austin Lyon, our entire Spectrum Sports crew here on hand for streaming coverage of the 2018 Girls Basketball State Finals. Calvary Christian, state runner-up a year ago, the Lions 13-13 entering this game against City of Life Christian. And in a rarity for a state final, these teams have already faced off once this year. City of Life Christian beating Calvary 53-35. Deborah Buggs has been fantastic for the Warriors during the postseason, averaging 14.5 points. She scored 27 yesterday, hitting 7 threes after getting 38 in the region final. Buggs has been lighting it up. She's joined in the starting lineup by her sister, Raina, freshman Omega Payton, Asia Harvey at 6'1", and Kiani Cummings, 6'3" junior playing basketball for the first time. Deary Buggs is the head coach at City of Life. His daughters Raina and Deborah so instrumental in the success of this team. Buggs now in his third season trying to lead City of Life Christian to its first ever FHSAA state championship in any team sport. Their opponent today, Calvary Christian, the Lions with Yasmin Perez, 5'6" senior guard. She surpassed 2,000 points earlier this year. She also has more than 1,500 steals and 650 assists. Phenomenal career numbers for Yasmin Perez, who is the engine for this City of Calvary Christian team. Starting lineup for the Lions include Mariah Perez, no relation to Yasmin, the twins Faith and Hope Hodges, both seniors, and then 8th grader Lauren Stewart. Rick Perez, who is the father of Yasmin, is the head coach at Calvary Christian. In his third year, set up an incredibly tough schedule for this team to try to get them ready for the playoffs, and it paid huge dividends. They enter this afternoon's championship game at 13-13. Not the record you normally see, but this team tested itself throughout the season to be prepared for this stage.
And this is what makes this game so unique and so fun is we have two teams, two coaches, two programs that are really uncharted territory coming into a state title game. Really anxious to see how they handle the nerves, how they handle the bright lights here in Lakeland. And we're going to see some missteps. We're going to see some mistakes early on, but hopefully they can pull it all together here and put it on a good game for us here in this 2A state title game.
City of Life Christian easily handled Grandview Prep in yesterday's state semifinal win. They had 29 points in the third quarter, hit 10 threes. You don't often see a team, especially one here for the first time, shoot it that well. This is just a new environment with a backdrop that these girls are not used to playing in.
And it starts with Deborah Buggs. She's been in the zone lately. Feels like every time she shoots, it's going in.
Calvary Christian concedes the tip. Both of these teams want to pressure all over the floor. Deborah Buggs, first shot in and out, rebounded by the 8th grader Stewart. Faith Hodges up the floor. Stewart just inside the three-point line. And this game expected to be played at a fast pace.
I like the pace right now. I like the up and down pace both teams are playing with. Get lots of shots up, lots of shots in.
Asia Harvey with the free throw line jumper, averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds per game. And the pressure forces a steal.
City of Life in a passive full court press, not really trapping, but as you can see, you still get a lot of turnovers sometimes when you press that way.
And this is a regular season rematch. These teams met on December 28th. City of Life winning the game 53-35. The first round of the Florida Prospects Christmas tournament in Orlando.
And the press, a good call for Coach Buggs, as already we've seen 2 turnovers by Calvary Christian. They don't look real confident out there against this press.
Raina Buggs with the steal. Just the one bucket so far. Foul on the rebounding action will go against Calvary.
And the thing about pressure and pressing full court is you want to start building off of those steals. You not only want to get the steals and the turnovers, but you want to produce points out of it.
Right down the lane, Harvey had a point-blank look, could not bank it in, and she traveled after getting the offensive rebound.
Anxious to see here if Calvary Christian can handle this press any better. You want to dribble less, get the ball in the middle of the floor more.
Foul whistled on Asia Harvey. First on the 6'1" sophomore forward. The strength of Calvary Christian is their guards. Got the ability to handle the ball well, especially Perez. Mariah Perez. A little bit long on that three. Hodges taps it up, but cannot save it from going out of bounds.
And right away, if you're Calvary Christian in the half-court setting, you want to get good looks at the basket. Because of that pressure giving you problems in the full court, you want to make every half-court setting count.
Now, both coaches said yesterday they feed off their defense, so even though Calvary Christian hasn't had a chance to utilize their pressure much so far, they want to get out and press in this game.
But it always helps if you score. When you score at one end, it's easier to set up your press, either full or half court at the other end. Anxious to see if they can do that.
Pass too tall for Harvey, and here comes Mariah Perez. Bugs is back defensively, blocked the shot.
Raina Bugs. Kind of like the LeBron James chase down almost. Kind of.
Perez made it a little bit easier by keeping the ball in her right hand. Calvary keeps possession, looking for their first bucket more than 2 minutes in.
And I mentioned it, the nerves, the bright lights, and we're seeing some of it now. A lot of turnovers, a lot of missed shots.
Raina Bugs knocking down a three. Just a 37% three-point shooter. She doesn't shoot it a lot from out there. It's mostly her sister, Deborah. Another turnover. Omega Payton gliding in and banking it home. 7-0 lead for City of Life.
And I think we're one turnover away from a timeout for Calvary Christian.
Perez sets up Stewart. And still a seal on the bucket for Calvary Christian.
City of Life. If you're them right now, you kind of want to step on their throats. You don't want to let up. You want to keep applying pressure on the offensive end, keep pressing defensively. We saw in our last game a team build a kind of a big lead early on and then kind of let up a little bit, and it cost them the game. City of Life going to keep pushing the issue.
Genoese Marty Marrero checks in for City of Life. One of two players on this roster that were displaced from Puerto Rico by Hurricane Maria. Marty Marrero along with Josie DePool Masonette, both moving up to the Kissimmee area and found homes right across the street from the school in Kissimmee.
Well, that worked out.
And Perez with a discard of Marty Marrero.
That's where Marrero wants to get to the sideline. Get to the sideline, put your foot on that sideline, and then they have to come through you.
Haven't seen many half-court possessions so far for Calvary Christian. Trying to dig out of an 8-0 hole, and a turnover by Perez.
Ooh. That was almost a trick shot.
Looked like Payton had no chance of getting that ball to the rim, and it was crawling nearly up over the iron.
And off comes the press. Surprised by that. They're going to go to a different look here, half-court press. Odd front, looking to trap in the dead spots. Take away the middle.
Hodges with a high dribble. Mariah Perez in the middle of the floor. Everything rushed right now for Calvary Christian. They'll get Raina Bugs for a push.
This is where if you're Calvary Christian, you really got to rely on your senior leader, Yasmin Perez. Great numbers throughout her career. And she knows for a fact this is her last high school basketball game. And you can see some frustration starting to build with Perez.
Harvey back in as Kiani Cummings gets a break.
And it's a zone by City of Life, but it's a pretty good zone as far as you still continue to pressure the basketball. You still contest shots.
Harvey lost it out of bounds. Geary Bugs, by far the best dressed coach we have seen so far at the state tournament.
I was just going to say that. Best dressed, we have an early candidate.
Nothing against the polo and slacks that Rick Perez has on at the other end of the floor. Perez came off a screen ready to shoot. And Calvary Christian's got his first bucket. City of Life quickly the other way. Bugs finding Harvey in transition for the lay-in.
And their mascot is the Warriors. And they've got the Warriors logo on their jerseys, playing like the Golden State Warriors, the way they scored in transition there.
Omega Payton on the handle for City of Life. Sets up Deborah Bugs. And a distinct advantage inside with the presence of Harvey. Her ability to rebound. You referenced the Warriors look on the jersey. It's the old school Warriors, though, not the Steph, Clay, Draymond Warriors. More like the Baron Davis Golden State Warriors.
Right. I was talking more Chris Mullen, the UTEP two-step Mitch Richmond type logo.
Although with the way this team plays, they really should consider adopting that new logo.
And a good timeout for Coach Perez. I know what they want to do. They want to pressure the ball defensively, but again, you're going to have to break the press and score offensively to do that.
It is a true family affair for Calvary Christian. You see Rick Perez, the head coach, in the middle of that huddle. To his right is his assistant, Richard Perez, who's his son. That is Yasmin's older sister, and not pictured Beatrice Perez, who is Rick's wife, also an assistant coach. Bracket for each of these 2A finalists. Calvary Christian with a 20-point win over Bayshore in the region finals, and then narrowly got past Osceola Christian in the state semifinals yesterday. Had to hang on for a 41-37 win. City of Life blew out Covenant Christian 79-51, and then won by 23 in the state semifinals yesterday. First three-pointer for Deborah Bugs after she hit 7 of them in yesterday's semifinal. Mariah Perez blocked for the second time by Raina Bugs.
Raina Bugs, all 5'5" of her. 2 big blocks early in this game. Comes from behind, swats it out of bounds.
Both of the Bugs sisters are juniors, but Raina is 17 months older. Wanted to keep those two in the same class. A foul off the ball whistled against Raina Bugs. That's her second. And much like the 1A championship game, neither of these teams have a whole lot of depth. So foul trouble is something that could play a big impact.
And with the constant pressing, fatigue could set in as well. Something to keep an eye on with both teams.
Yasmin Perez skips it to Mariah. Got it back on the wing. Halfway down before it's spun out, the 8th grader Stewart grabs the rebound.
And Omega Payton defensively, the anchor of this team, you can tell. Constant pressure on the ball, getting in there and mixing it up for offensive rebounds as well.
Stewart with another board. She gets double teamed and travels.
Both teams struggling to box out. A lot of offensive second chance, third chance opportunities for both teams.
10-point lead for City of Life and an offensive foul whistled against Harvey.
Tough call down low. Harvey, I thought, made a pretty good post move. The official saw it differently. Thought she kind of bumped into her a little too hard.
2 fouls on Harvey, 2 fouls on Raina Buggs. Perez
Buggs
picked up the dribble, and there is another reach-in foul. And it is indeed on Raina Buggs.
She's got to come out.
3 first-quarter fouls on 5'5" junior Raina Buggs, and she will head to the bench. In comes Josie DePool-Masonette.
Yeah, Raina Buggs is going to have to sit the rest of this half. Even when she comes in to start the second half, she's automatically in foul trouble.
Stewart made a nice catch. Couldn't get the shot to go over 6'3" Kiani Cummings.
Good job by Cummings, challenging the shot, reestablishing her position, and getting the rebound.
Cummings mixing it up on the offensive glass. She originally is from the Atlanta area, moved to Kissimmee and chose City of Life Christian. Primarily a volleyball player until Deary Buggs was able to get her out on the basketball court. Perez has had opportunities in the middle of that zone. 2 good looks there, but neither one goes down.
And let's see what City of Life does here in transition. Not afraid to shoot threes out of transition.
Perez the last one to touch it. Stewart heads to the bench as Michaela Chenault comes in for the first time. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Perez trying to throw it nearly the length of the floor. The athleticism of Peyton able to track that all the way, and she takes it in for 2.
Omega Peyton, I'm telling you right now, is the difference maker in this game. It starts with her defense. They're finishing on offense.
Peyton has 5. Great all-around game for Peyton yesterday. 14 points, 7 steals, and 6 rebounds in the win against Grandview Prep. Perez turns the corner. What a find to Chenault. Missed a point-blank layup and then committed a foul.
And Yasmin Perez frustrated, rightfully so. And she's struggling a little bit right now too. But she's going to be the top of this half-court trapping defense.
Foul on a 3-point shot. Josie DePool-Masonette will get 3 free throws.
And whatever Calvary Christian is trying, it's being denied by Omega Peyton offensively as the point guard. She looks untrappable at this point as the point guard.
These are going to be the first free throw attempts of the year. DePool-Masonette did not score in yesterday's state semifinal. She played 7 minutes. Freshman only averaging 2.1 points per game, but a chance to eclipse that number on 1 possession.
Wow, that shows some moxie. The background here at Lakeland different than really any other high school she would have played at. So to shoot her first free throws and make all 3, pretty heady stuff.
Yasmin Perez weaving her way through the defense. She's fouled with 0.2 of a second on the clock.
So this is something we've got to watch with City of Life Christian is the foul trouble. A lot of fouls just in this first quarter.
Perez only 52% at the line. More than 2,000 points in her career. She hits both. Each team goes 5 for 5 at the line in the final 20 seconds. City of Life Christian in control after one here in the 2A championship game. 18-5. Warriors dominating Calvary Christian.
For the most up-to-date information on the FHSAA Championships, including the complete official statistics from today's game, visit FHSAA.org, the official website of the Florida High School Athletic Association. At this time, the FHSAA asks all educators and officials stand up for today's crowd and publicly recognize and thank you for your dedication, commitment, and passion. The valuable lessons you instill in our student athletes help them to succeed not only athletically but academically. Thank you, teachers, for everything you do. Discover who you want to be at Southeastern University. For enrollment information at Southeastern Fire Athletics, visit www.sc.edu.
Back here in Lakeland as we start the second quarter, Calvary Christian played 10 games this season against schools 7A or bigger. The goal of Rick Perez was to try to challenge his team as much as possible. Said, we want to play the biggest, baddest teams out there to help prepare us for the rest of the season.
And that's a sign of a good coach and a sign of a program that knows what the ultimate prize is. It's not about having a good regular season record. It's about being challenged. Sometimes you want to kind of pad your stats a little bit, and you want to rack up a lot of wins as a team and as a coach and as a program, but they've reached the ultimate prize here in getting to the state championship game.
It wasn't just bigger schools. They also went up against West Oaks Academy, Montverde Academy, two outstanding girls programs that do not participate in the FHSAA State Series.
And this is what makes Central Florida so unique, is all of the private schools. Like you said, whether they're in the FHSAA or not, you can have such a challenging schedule if you want it. You can really get out there and get after it.
Two quick fouls against Calvary here to open the second quarter, and a 1-and-1 for Kiani Cummings. Only 38% at the line, but she follows suit with what we've seen so far. Good-looking shots from all the girls who have stepped to the stripe. Rebound comes out to Yasmin Perez. Peyton comes from behind and pokes it away.
That's where Yasmin Perez has got to count how many jerseys are in front of her. With only 4 in front of her, there's got to be one behind her. And there's Omega Peyton again.
7 points for Omega Peyton. She has been the catalyst for City of Life Christian here in the first 9 minutes.
And I'd like to see Yasmin Perez maybe a little more selfish as the senior leader of this team, someone with over 2,000 points, maybe forcing the issue a little bit more.
Hodges off on the three.
That was a great closeout by Kiani Cummings. Sometimes when you're 6'3", you just want to stand around the rim. Hard closeout by Cummings to alter that shot.
There's no offensive rhythm so far for Calvary Christian, trailing by 16. Perez in a lot of traffic, and she'll earn a trip to the line.
I like it. I like the take by her. She understands that at some point she may have to put this team on her back if they're going to chip away at this big lead early.
Going to line number 12, Yasmin Perez.
Perez, an outstanding student, 4.5 GPA. Wants to be an orthopedic surgeon. So she's been looking at schools with pre-med programs. One of them is the University of Texas San Antonio. Father Rick says she's had a lot of conversations with that coaching staff and thinks that is likely where she'll end up, though it has not been finalized just yet.
Oh boy, nice steal.
Senior takes it away that time from Peyton, but can't finish the left-handed layup.
And this is a case, I think, right now with Yasmin where frustration is setting in. And it starts in the half-court setting, and there, a breakaway layup. Couldn't convert it. She's got to shake off those cobwebs right now, shake off the doubt that she's starting to form.
A 1-and-1 for Peyton. Well, she has just been a terror defensively. Coach Deary Buggs said she's the best on-ball defender on the team. She's got a nice touch when she gets around the rim.
That's the thing. She not only creates steals on the defensive end, but then converts on the other end. Reminds me of another Peyton that was pretty good on-ball defender.
Young people might think you're talking about Alfred, so you might want to clarify that just for our viewing audience that's probably primarily made up of Central Florida viewers.
A long time ago, kids, there was a guy, he was such a good defender, they called him the Glove. Gary Peyton. Look him up, Google him.
Alfred probably will not be referred to as the Glove anytime soon. Free throws for Hope Hodges after a loose ball foul against City of Life. Maybe a trip to the line will get it going for the best shooter on Calvary Christian's team, but just nothing going right offensively for the Lions. And this is a relentless onslaught from City of Life Christian. On the backside, uncontested rebound for Harvey after Marty Marrero missed the three.
And Harvey has given them good minutes on the interior. A nice stick back there.
Perez got bumped on the drive.
No one-on-one yet. Sixth team foul, I believe. Nope. They're saying one-on-one.
Second foul on Marty Marrero. So two players with two fouls for City of Life. Raina Buggs, starting point guard, has three.
Giving her two shots on that one. So it must have been in the act of shooting. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 10 fouls. Yeah.
It's early in the week. We can give you a pass on that.
Hey, you know, it's a school day.
Perez 1 of 2. 19-point deficit for Calvary Christian.
And if you're going to press, if you're Calvary Christian and you're going to press, you've got to make it count. And they do. Because what you're going to do is wear down what is a very small team as far as not a lot of bench. If you're going to press, you're going to have to do exactly what they did, create turnovers there.
And with the three fouls on Raina Buggs, all the ball handling responsibilities essentially fall on the freshman Peyton.
It does, and she looks a little winded now too, and she's not going to be able to catch a break at all.
Mariah Perez with the runner. Her first basket, leading scorer for Calvary Christian at 17.4 points per game, is finally on the board. Kick out, Buggs open three. Off the back rim. Nice play by Marty Marrero, tapping the rebound out to Peyton. She continues to show her offensive skill set. Now 11 points for freshman Omega Peyton.
And that's a killer possession for them, as Calvary Christian was really running and jumping, really scrambling. Got them to take a shot and miss it, but then the second shot opportunity pays off.
Mariah Perez starting to build some confidence working in the middle of that zone defense. Marty Marrero short. Mariah Perez still down. Now she's gotten to her feet. Bugs long, and Perez ends up with a rebound.
And if you're going to make a move, if you're the Lions, now's the time to do it. Deep into the second quarter, you want to try to chip away at this lead so you go into that halftime not down so much.
All right, now it's a 17-point margin. Figure if you could get it down to maybe 10 or 12, Rick Perez would be pretty happy with that going to the locker room.
Yeah, that's a much easier sell in the locker room to your team.
Cummings was in perfect rebounding position, but could not squeeze it. Rick Perez started coaching almost 20 years ago in youth basketball. He was approached 3 years ago about the job at Calvary. The call came 2 weeks before the start of the season. The team was in need of a head coach, and he was willing to answer the call.
And we see that a lot with guys who've coached, whether it be Winning Ways or AAU or travel basketball of any kind. You kind of get that bug and that itch, and you want to do it more than just in the summertime, more than just a hobby. And a lot of guys really pick it up and do a great job at the high school level.
We mentioned how much of a family affair it is for Calvary Christian. Rick's son Richard and his wife Beatrice all on staff. I asked Yasmin Perez yesterday the best and worst thing about having her dad as the coach, and she was talking about how when you go home there is no relief. You've got three coaches and 3 other people in the house. She did say that her mom was kind of the comfort zone. If she went home and things weren't going well with basketball, she could always go to mom and not talk about what was going on with hoops. But the older brother is just relentless. Won't let it go. She gets a double-double. Older brother, Richard, thinks it should be a triple-double.
Exactly. Yeah, normally, like you said, that's the relief when you get home. Your parents normally can tell you how great you are after the coach has been yelling at you for 2 hours.
She said she would not have it any other way. That family doesn't allow anyone to work harder than she does.
And some kids are just wired differently than others, and she's one of those who can take the criticism both at home and on the court. A lot of young people can't take that.
2 free throws for Omega Peyton. Leading scorer in the game. She is outscoring Calvary Christian on her own. Now 12 points for the freshman after scoring 14 in the semifinals yesterday. Hodges trying to find Perez, and a great read by Deborah Bugs. Quick release from Marty Marrero. Mariah Perez comes out with it for Calvary.
And I think if I'm City of Life Christian, this is the last time I want to play defense this half. I want to get a stop here. Even if you don't get a stop, be real patient on the other end. Now, transition's something different, though. Especially with Peyton leading the charge.
You know, my prediction's not going to look as good now, but I was getting ready to tell you that they're going to be playing defense at least 3 or 4 more times before the end of the half.
You're probably right. One of your better players still on the bench with 3 fouls and a big lead here. But what do I know?
Coach Bugs was raving yesterday about Omega Peyton's ability as an on-ball defender. Said, you know, his 2 daughters, Deborah and Raina, are the ones who read, and they're good at getting in passing lanes and getting steals, but it all starts with Omega's ability to guard the ball. She just locks down the opposing point guard.
And that's when I coached, that's what I always told someone. You want playing time? I don't care if you ever score, but if you can be what I used to call a dog on that ball, you're going to play a lot.
Lauren Stewart off on the 3. Faith Hodges picks up her 3rd foul.
And as we continue to say with the small classifications, the 1A, 2A, 3A later tonight, there's just not a lot of options coming off of that bench. I'm going to get it right this time. See, there's 10 team fouls, so she'll get 2 shots from the line.
Now, for someone who's so new to basketball, I like what you see from Cummings, a willingness to be physical, which is probably the hardest hurdle to overcome when you're coming from a sport like volleyball, right?
Absolutely, and you can tell her frame is very frail, but she's not afraid to get in there and mix it up, and she just shot a look at someone up in the stands who was heckling her at the foul line, so she's got some toughness to her.
Omega Payton charged with the foul. That's her first. Each team in the double bonus, so it's 2 shots both ways.
Her first personal. Going to line number 12, Jasmine Perez.
One of 2 for Perez. 20-point lead for City of Life Christian. In control right from the start as Payton turns it over.
I think your guess of 3 to 4 more defensive stands here might have been low.
I said at least 3 or 4 more.
Right.
I was confident this pace was not going to slow down.
And it sure has it, but give them credit. I mean, that's the way they've played all season, and they're not going to let up just because it's the state title game. They're going to continue to play their game. That's what's got them here.
This is one of the more patient possessions we've seen from Calvary Christian. Stewart turns it over, threw it into a crowd. The waiting arms of Cummings. Bugs will let it fly. Strong rebound by Cummings, deflected out by Perez.
Continuing to be impressed by Cummings. Like you said, being so new to the game of basketball, playing on the highest stage right now, really doing a good job. Never going to score a lot, you can tell, but just really makes a difference out on the floor.
Averaging almost 9 rebounds per game. A lot of dejected expressions on the players from Calvary Christian. Down to 16 seconds to go. Payton continues to hound Perez. Stewart, nice give and go. Cummings blocked the shot. They get her for a foul.
And what I like there by Cummings, it looked like a good block. The foul was called, but she doesn't make a scene about it. She doesn't try to show the official up like so many young people, heck, so many NBA players that question every single call. I really like that about her.
Wonder where those young players learn how to react like that to calls, huh?
I love Chris Paul as a player, but he complains about every call. It would drive me crazy if I was his teammate or coach.
Payton down to 1 second. I don't know that she sees it. Tried to get it to Bugs. She banks it in. Didn't shoot it well from the perimeter. One of the shots she hit comes after the buzzer. Halftime of the 2A championship game here at the RP Funding Center. And City of Life Christian in command, 31-13. The Warriors leading Calvary Christian. 10-minute halftime. Travis and I will be back just before the third quarter action starts here in Lakeland.
City of Life 31, Calvary Christian 13. It's a good time to visit the Team IP merchandising booth inside of the arena and purchase your official FHSAA Basketball State Championship souvenir. Team IP, the official merchandise company of the FHSAA. Florida dairy farmers is a proud supporter of student athletes and their families. Farmers know it takes hard work and long hours to excel in the classroom and on the court. Visit floridamilk.com to see how dairy farmers across the Sunshine State work hard every day to provide fresh, wholesome milk. Thank you to the following championship committee goal supporters: Publix Chinese Chicken, Outback Steakhouse, Olive Garden, Chick-fil-A, Red Mark Restaurant, Chiplo's Barbecue, Country Chicken and Fish, Meaning's Mongolian Grill, Domino's Pizza, Grillsmith, Bluebell Creameries, and the Village Inn. The FHSAA is on Facebook and Twitter. Go to facebook.com/FHSAA and become a fan. Or go to Twitter handle FHSAA. On the site, you can keep up with teams and people who strive to make high school athletics in the state of Florida the best. That's facebook.com/FHSAA and @FHSAA on Twitter. Be a fan of it all. your ledger today. Today's newspaper is on sale for $1 at a table inside the front entrance. It contains a special section that lists all the rosters and the bracket for each classification.
We welcome you back to the George Jenkins Arena inside the RP Funding Center here in Lakeland. City of Life Christian out of Kissimmee in command here in the 2A title game with an 18-point lead. Look at the first half stats. Show neither team shot it particularly well, but just 3 made field goals for Calvary Christian.
And it all starts with that ball pressure by Omega Peyton. They really can't get in an offense. They can't get a good look at the basket. And I think a little bit of nerves have set in early, and they just have never gotten over it.
13 turnovers in the first half for Calvary Christian. City of Life Christian, 16 points in the paint. You talked about Peyton's defense, but it's been her offense as well.
It has, and it's mostly in transition. Rarely have they run a set play for Peyton. It's been the steal at one end, the conversion at the other end that's been her bread and butter so far tonight.
She leads all scorers with 13 points, also 5 steals. Asia Harvey controlling the middle of the lane at both ends. She's got 6 points, 10 rebounds, 5 offensive, 5 defensive.
And she, like we said, she's never going to score a lot of points, but she has been the difference in this game as far as controlling the rebounds, a couple big blocks, and not backing down at all.
We'll see whether Calvary Christian and Coach Rick Perez were able to make any halftime adjustments to try to crawl out of an 18-point hole. Both of these teams vying for their first ever state championship, not just in girls basketball, but in any team sport for the FHSAA. Going to be a historic afternoon for one of these schools.
And when you're down big at halftime, you've got to set realistic goals coming out of that halftime locker room. One goal is to always try to win that first 4 minutes of the second half.
Raina Buggs, who sat out for most of the first half after picking up 3 first-quarter fouls, is out there to begin the second half.
And that's never easy. You've been sitting a long time. You sat the whole second quarter. You sat in the 10-minute halftime. So to come back out here, you really got to get your legs first.
Saw a lot of impatience from Calvary Christian in the first half offensively. What are the areas you see that they might be able to attack?
I think it starts with Yasmin Perez. She's got to create off the dribble, attack gaps against this zone.
Yasmin Perez sets a screen for Hope Hodges. That's one of the better looks Calvary has had, but they can't finish. Yasmin Perez with the steal. Perez averages, according to the statistics provided by the school, 10.5 steals per game. Had just 1 in the first half.
Just picked up another one there, so she's well on her way to that 10.5.
Mariah Perez has had opportunities in the middle of that zone, but not able to get it going. Deborah Buggs out in transition.
And both teams, pretty sloppy play here to start the second half. And it's a case of where you're Calvary Christian, you're pressing the issue. You know you need to score a bunch of points to catch up. And if you're City of Life, it almost is a case of when's the clock going to run out? When's this game going to end?
For as little offensive success as Calvary's had, you score a couple buckets, put together some stops, and you feel like you're right back in the game.
Absolutely. It's not at 20. It's at a manageable difference right now.
Hope Hodges back to her twin sister Faith. Faith, who's got the ball now, the older of the two sisters. Raina Buggs not shy about potentially reaching in and picking up another foul. She ultimately forces a held ball, and the arrow will give it back to City of Life.
Yeah, that could have easily been her fourth, and she would have had to sit the rest of this third quarter.
Buggs over the top, nice find. Harvey underneath off the feed from Marty Marrero.
Textbook how to beat a half-court trap. Pass the ball, don't dribble.
Mariah Perez driving it inside, and she gets whistled for a travel.
The Lions with their diamond press, a kind of a unique one, where they're really not having a solid pressing trap right away like you're used to. And Coach Buggs has seen enough. He's upset that they're kind of lackadaisical right now. They're really not playing championship basketball. They're kind of asleep at the switch, but not right now. His motivation, Coach Buggs, yelling and screaming, leads to the bucket.
Marty Marrero once again with the dish to Harvey for the and one.
Great passing the basketball. Ball never touches the floor. Outstanding job. So much so that I don't know if Calvary Christian can stay in this half-court trap. They may have to go to a more of a man run and jump type situation.
Harvey now in double figures. Lead has swelled back to 21 for City of Life. Just relentless pressure. Peyton called for a reach in, just her second foul.
Yeah, all the ball pressure she's provided, and just only her second foul. She's done a great job of moving her feet, not reaching. Did reach there, got her hand caught in the cookie jar.
Perez with about a 27-footer. Desperation heave.
She's wearing the wrong jersey. She needs that Warriors jersey on, shooting that. Here's where I would go inside to Asia Harvey. You've had all kinds of success getting her the ball inside. Continue to punch it into her.
Buggs turns the corner on the screen by Harvey. Nice left-handed finish.
Welcome back to the game. Raina Buggs had to sit a long time.
Perez coast to coast. Some contact there. She thought there should have been a foul call. Buggs finds Harvey.
Good job. Excellent transition offense. Find Harvey inside.
Harvey's positioning is what's so impressive.
And great hands to catch that pass and finish in one fail swoop like that. She's done it a few times. Very impressed with the sophomore.
This is her 19th game of the season. Missed some time early in the year. And she's been in double figure scoring-wise in 17 of those 19 games.
Omega Payton going to get her first break. We haven't called her name much this second half, but she might have locked up that MVP in the first half.
And Ballott's still outstanding for that MVP award. Two of them to be precise.
Rishi Barron just showed up. He can be the tiebreaker.
We also got Chris McCulley in the truck. I'm willing to give a vote to any member of our crew, really.
Or anyone that passes by.
Past the midway point of the third quarter. Calvary Christian out of Ormond Beach, state runner-up a year ago, back in the title game, but facing an uphill climb Stewart from in close had it roll out. Deborah Buggs, quick release. And a loose ball foul going to go against Cummings. She had a grimace on her face the moment the whistle blew. She knew it was against her.
You know that look.
Foul on number 32, Tiani Cummings. Her third personal, team third.
She probably has that same look after a big hit in volleyball and the net's flying and the whistle blows. Maybe she made a little contact with that net.
Cummings recruited off the volleyball team to play basketball for City of Life. That's the kind of day it's been for Perez. She gets to the rim. This has too much on it. Buggs keeping her foot on the accelerator.
Call. Good call, Raina Buggs, acknowledging it, that she did travel there. And the press is still on for City of Life. A lot of coaches will continue to press if they're up big into the fourth quarter, usually call off the dogs at that point.
The eighth grader Stewart settles for the outside jumper. Cunningham and Chenault were both well positioned for that rebound. Neither one came up with it. Buggs with a three, and she drops it home. Raina Buggs has hit a couple of threes. Younger sister Deborah has gotten all the press for her three-point shooting in the playoffs, but Raina can stroke it as well.
And that was a Buggs to Buggs play there. As we get a full timeout, and really Calvary Christian, Coach Perez, really not a lot of options left in that playbook at this point. You really just want to employ to your girls to just keep fighting. Don't give up. You don't want this last game to get away this badly.
It's always tough at this stage of the season, right? Because at any other point, other than the state tournament, you can talk about, what's next. But the final game of the year, it's hard for that message to sink in.
That's it. And for the seniors on your team, this is it. This is their last game. And then for everybody else on the team, including the coaching staff, it becomes a long off season for you that this was your last game. It's kind of a bitter taste. You understand what a great ride it was to get to the state championship game, but it's hard. You hear that a lot with NFL guys that played in the Super Bowl but never won it. Some of them would rather never have gone to the Super Bowl. It's such a stinging effect.
Yasmin Perez is showing some fight with that aggressive drive. Momentarily got possession back. Now the ball rolls all the way to the other end of the floor, and officials will give possession to City of Life.
And you said it, Yasmin Perez, it's not been her day. Some bad luck there. She got the steal from behind, but it went off her foot, flying to the other end.
Deborah Buggs left open. The younger sister continues to carry the torch with the three-point shooting so far today. But Deborah Buggs certainly did her part in getting the team to this game as Mariah Perez hits the pull-up.
Basket good by Mariah Perez.
And there's no quit in this team. Give Calvary Christian credit. Down quite a bit at this point, but they're still firing away.
And we talked about Calvary Christian's tough schedule to get here and their 13-13 record. City of Life also decided to challenge itself, especially in the early part of the season. Played Sefner Christian in the preseason, a traditional power. Opened up the regular season schedule with a game against West Orange. Took on Orlando Christian Prep, which will play in the 3A championship game tonight. And for these small schools, a lot of times if you have a talented roster, your only choice to try to find competitive games is to go to those higher echelon programs in the large classes.
Absolutely. There's nothing worse than being in a district where you're not challenged. You've got to go out and seek out challenges. And it's, like I said, it's easy to do, especially in a city like Kissimmee. There's all kinds of talent all around you, whether it be in your county or sneaking over the line to Orange County.
And one of the final losses of the year for City of Life came against Osceola, 9A school in Kissimmee. Buggs Amazing how quick those two can get a shot up. Perez to Perez.
Great finish from Mariah Perez. That's a great catch, land, and finish.
Hodges trying to hold off a defender to get that rebound and then took a swipe for a foul.
And Coach Buggs talking to his team, letting them know that guys, we have the lead. We don't have to attack like this offensively. But like I said, that's their style. So give them credit for continuing to play that way.
Around and out on the three for Buggs. Offensive board for Marty Marrero. She's been a nice contributor off the bench for City of Life.
Sure has. And again, won't get a lot of credit. Doesn't have a great stat line by any means. But she gets in there and extends plays.
Harvey the last to touch that. And you see the makings of a solid post player with Asia Harvey. It's not just catch and go up with it. She's trying to make post moves, and for just a sophomore, you see that the potential is there.
Absolutely, and you don't really see a lot of post moves anymore out of young people. We talked a lot about the Golden State Warriors team, and a lot of teams at all levels have tried to be like the Warriors, and you don't see many post moves on that Warriors team.
Nice catch by Harvey, wheeling to the inside. Bodies crashing. Harvey goes down, and they'll get a travel. I thought Harvey took out Mariah Perez, and there was no foul call.
Half the players are on the floor out there.
A tough afternoon for Mariah Perez, the leading scorer for Calvary Christian. Hasn't gotten a lot of her shots to fall. She's absorbed a lot of contact. Inbounds pass brings the third quarter to a close. 8 more minutes remaining here in the 2A championship game. The lead was 18 at the half. It's 24 going to the fourth for City of Life Christian.
If you're interested, contact the Florida High School Athletic Association office in Gainesville or visit the official's website at becominganaofficial.org. Championship Committee would like to thank the following bronze supporters: Mr. Riley Short, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Spotlight MBA, Tournament of the World, Carlton Benton, ASA, the Gym, and Ron Running.
Score by quarter, double figures in every quarter for City of Life Christian, single digits in each score for Calvary Christian. Adds up to a 43-19 lead going to the fourth. 4 players averaging in double figures for City of Life Christian. It has been a balanced attack for Coach Deary Buggs throughout the year. And once again, today, no one has more than 13. 2 leading scorers are Omega Payton and Asia Harvey.
Balanced not only in scoring, but also balanced, I think, with effort as far as rebounds, assists, running the floor, pressuring the ball defensively, and balance inside and out. They're not just a three-point shooting team. With Harvey inside, they've got a good inside presence as well. And Mariah Perez is not going out without swinging. She's going to continue to get her shots up, get some steals in the press, and breathing life into the Lady Lions.
Scores the first 4 here in the fourth. Harvey open inside and not close to it. Here comes Mariah Perez. Well, she has got that look right now. 6 in a row for Mariah Perez. Timeout, Calvary Christian.
No. Yes, timeout, Calvary Christian. I wouldn't have stopped the momentum there. I thought maybe City of Life was calling that timeout. Calvary Christian, though, kind of stops the momentum a little bit here, but want to set up the press, want to keep this going, and I like that Mariah Perez is starting to be a little bit selfish at this point. You have to be, as far as there's no time left.
Mariah Perez was in Calvary Christian when she was in middle school, started her high school career at Atlantic before transferring back to Calvary for her junior and senior year. Surpassed 1,000 points earlier this season. And she was one of the players to admit yesterday that she was concerned in the semifinals. Calvary had a sizable margin. Osceola Christian got within 2 with a couple of minutes to go. And she said, yeah, I was worried when the lead got to 2, but my senior year, it was meant to be for this group. I knew that we would be able to pull through, and they ultimately won by 4, 41-37.
And you can tell that this last 7 minutes, roughly, she is going to leave it all out on the floor in what will be her last high school basketball game.
Pass never gets to Omega Peyton. Hodges with the steal. Yasmin Perez on the run. Lost the handle. It will stay with Calvary Christian.
And the frustration continues for Yasmin Perez. She thought for sure she was hit on that drive, showing the ref, look, the slap mark.
Mariah Perez flashing inside. 8 consecutive points for Mariah Perez. It's down to 16. Foul on the rebounding action. It's going to go against Harvey. That time Perez went to the deck and was rewarded. She takes the charge.
Takes the charge, a 12-0 run for Calvary Christian. And I'm perplexed as to why Omega Peyton isn't handling the basketball against this pressure. We raved about her in the first half, breaking the pressure with ease, and she's not handling the ball now.
That foul was the 4th on Asia Harvey. 4 on her, 4 on Kiani Cummings. Calvary trying to throw over the top, and pressure from City of Life leads to a turnover and then a foul against Calvary.
Almost a 10-second call there, but the foul instead. Omega Peyton sat for quite a while in that third quarter, and she's really hasn't been a part of the offense at all in the fourth.
That is the 4th foul on Faith Hodges. And there's number 5. 2 fouls in a matter of 10 seconds. And the high school career for Faith Hodges comes to an end with 6:05 to go in the game.
Some good sportsmanship for Faith Hodges. Fouls out, goes over and shakes her opponent's hands. Class act for the senior.
5-year varsity player for Calvary Christian. Been playing at this level since she was in 8th grade. Perez comes down with it after the wild shot by Marty Marrero. Bit of a scramble and a chance in transition. Mariah Perez with a 3. Can't continue to stay hot, and Stewart couldn't squeeze it, but Amber Cunningham comes up with a loose ball. Perez inside. It's 14 straight. Bugs attacking. Pull-up shot off the window. Strong rebound by Harvey. She can't finish. And a travel against Amber Cunningham.
And here's where I run a set play for Asia Harvey. Get the ball inside to her on your underneath out of bounds play. Look to score an easy one here to stop the bleeding.
There's a 24-point lead starting the fourth quarter. It's down to 10. Cunningham had possession but tried to get up with the ball before she passed it to Perez. Tough break.
It's a tough break, and Coach Rick Perez realizes that back-to-back travel calls against your team at a time when you really need possessions, very costly.
Calvary Christian having to exert so much energy to get within striking distance. Do they have enough in the tank to make another run at it?
And City of Life Christian cannot convert. They've had some good looks at the rim, just can't knock any of them down.
Hodges over the top to Mariah Perez. Took it at Harvey and got the roll. The lead down to 12. Buggs finally ends the drought for City of Life Christian.
And I love the attitude of City of Life Christian. We're just going to keep going toe-to-toe with you. We're not going to slow it down.
Stewart got a great feed from Perez and traveled.
Another traveling call for Calvary Christian. So costly this late, trying to come back.
And that ball loose. And I think they're going to get Hodges for the foul. Mariah Perez is really upset, but not sure she was the one who ultimately reached in. They call Hope Hodges for that foul.
I think Mariah Perez was smelling blood. Thought she had the steal and conversion at the other end. Full timeout for City of Life. Want to talk it over. And we'll see if they stick to their guns here, if they're going to continue to run and gun like the Golden State Warriors, or if they're going to try to slow things down to win a state title.
Well, the faster you go, the more likelihood Calvary Christian has a chance to come back. The more possessions there are in the game, the better it is for the team that's trailing, right?
Yeah, and that's where I really struggled as a coach as to when to pump the brakes, when to slow things down, especially when you've got the better team, obviously. But you've got the better team and you've got a big lead, but the team is starting to come back on you because you keep running and gunning with them.
Both of these teams in search of their first ever state championship. And it's not often you see a regular season rematch in the state championship game, but City of Life beat Calvary 53-35 back on December 28th. Not too dissimilar a scoreline right now. Out of the timeout, a 1-and-1 for Marty Marrero.
And what a story it is to be displaced by the Hurricane and come here and close to and possibly winning a state championship here. Maybe take that gold medal back with you to Puerto Rico when you do go back.
And Marty Marrero and DePaul Masonette found homes right across the street from City of Life Christian. Perez, hounded by Peyton. Tipped out to the corner. Hodges retrieves it. Cunningham throws it up toward the rim. Perez comes down with it. Buggs altering that shot, and then she stepped on the end line.
And Mariah Perez continues to be in there scrapping, battling, realizing that she's only got a few minutes left in her high school career. Both Perez's, Yasmin Perez, Mariah Perez. Don't want to leave anything out there on the floor.
Officials conferring about whether or not there was a touch. And they finally ruled there was not, so it'll be City of Life Christian possession. According to the jerseys, it is the City of Life Christian. Trying to be like the Ohio State University, I suppose. Brand that at the high school level.
That's it.
A little bit of nerves over there from Keihani Cummings, shaking that right leg.
Yeah.
Deborah Buggs is going to sit. DePaul Masonette comes back in. Perez in traffic is bumped. That is the 6th team foul against City of Life, so no free throws yet.
A very short break for Deborah Buggs. About 2 seconds of clock time. But you want her on the floor. You want all your best ball handlers out on the floor to handle the pressure.
Perez too strong off the window. Past the midway point of the fourth quarter. Lead was 24 going to the fourth. Right now it's a 14-point margin. No quit in the ladies from Calvary Christian. And seemingly no slowing the pace for City of Life Christian. Buggs gets it to Marty Marrero. And the sophomore will be headed back to the line.
City of Life continuing to attack the rim, getting results, getting to the free throw line. Like I've said before, at this point in the game, you really want to focus on 2 types of shots if you're City of Life, the free throw line and layups. Hopefully convert on both of them. But it really comes down to defense, too. You string a few stops together on the defensive end, and this game is over.
Stewart could not prevent herself from going out of bounds. Now 23 turnovers committed by Calvary Christian, well above their season average. It's a team that prides itself on taking care of the ball. Perez, strong rebound. Yasmin Perez dealing around Peyton underneath Stewart. She's missed a lot in close today.
And Perez's stat line, not going to have a whole lot of assists, but there were a lot of opportunities for assists with baskets that just simply weren't made around the rim.
Not finishing really isn't the fault of the passer. You should get some sort of, maybe create a stat category for like a set up easy basket that was missed.
Right, exactly. I always thought too, when you do a perfect assist to someone and they get fouled, if they make those free throws, you should get the assist on that as well.
We've got people that are really into analytics. Are we not at a point in time where we can create that kind of category?
We could always start a movement.
Wouldn't be the first time. One more free throw for Raina Buggs as things too appear to have steadied for City of Life Christian. They took a huge haymaker from Calvary at the start of the fourth. Down to 12, and right now the margin is 16. Perez, nice setup there. Mariah Perez with the bucket and the foul.
And I like what Calvary Christian's doing here. I really appreciate the fact they've been down big throughout this game. Never gave up, never quit, continued to play with a lot of heart, play with a lot of emotion.
And that is the 5th foul on Asia Harvey. So the 6'1 sophomore, who has 13 points, tied for the most on her team, fouls out with 3 minutes to go.
So with the freshman Omega Payton and the sophomore Asia Harvey, still a lot of firepower coming back for the Warriors.
Perez takes it away. Yasmin Perez will launch a 3. Off the side of the rim. Peyton with the rebound and the pass up ahead to Kiani Cummings. All kinds of time. She misses the layup. The follow by Marty Navarrero is no good. And then a backcourt foul is going to put Yasmin Perez at the line.
And this is where if you're Coach Buggs, you're really frustrated by what should have been 2 points at one end. Instead, the clock is stopped. A possible 2 points for Calvary Christian. And when you're a coach, especially in a state title game, your mind, you're going through every scenario of how you're going to lose the game. Rarely do you ever think of, yeah, we're going to win this one. You're thinking of every possibility on how you're going to lose it.
Does that apply even when you're up 30 in the second half?
Yes, it does. Because you've got kids at the end of the bench staring at you, wanting to get out there, and you're like, no, I can see what's going to happen here.
Third foul on Marty Marrero will put the 8th grader Lauren Stewart at the line.
So the ability to score with the clock stopped continues for Calvary Christian. They've got to convert these free throws, though. Make this second one, jump in your press after a timeout.
Stewart had really elevated her play during the postseason, averaging 11.5 points per game in the playoffs. That's about 2.5 points more than she averaged during the regular season. Don't necessarily see that. Normally you see better competition in the playoffs. Everyone's numbers go down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, she's an 8th grader in the program, but by this point, she's a freshman. She's a 9th grader by now.
13-point lead. What was once looking like it was going to be a walk for City of Life Christian to a state championship has become a little bit more tense. One more free throw for Lauren Stewart.
And that's all you can ask for as a coach, as Coach Perez. This is all you could ask for out of your team right now, to make it a game.
And Perez missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Stewart misses both. Every possession valuable. Marty Marrero can't finish the layup. Buggs comes out of there with it. I think she might have gotten away with a double dribble. Cummings gets hacked by Hodges.
This not a bad foul at all. Sends Cummings to the lines, although she has been making her free throws so far today. But get her to the line, get the clock stopped. Hopefully she misses. And then you can attack the rim as you've been doing so well with, I know they're not related, but we can call them the Perez sisters.
Cummings, 38% on the year at the line. She is 4 for 5.
Some people just like these bright lights better.
I mean, I'm used to seeing people come here and oversell their statistics. It's not often that people are dramatically undersold.
Yes.
Good catch by Stewart in the middle of the floor. Double dribble. Chenault back in, giving Cunningham a break.
This is where the Warriors need to flash someone into the middle of the floor. It's hard to break a press down the sideline. Flash somebody middle and then look opposite.
Yasmin Perez on top of the scorer's table after continuing her great effort. I'll get an offensive foul on Peyton. Bit of a sell job there by Mariah Perez. No one will falter for that.
Mariah Carey got lampooned for her acting ability, but Mariah Perez, good actress.
Rewarded. A deflection by Peyton and another steal. Gives it up to Buggs. Peyton cleans everything up. She gets the rebound and pulls it back out. Smart veteran move from the freshman.
And it's been a tale of two halves for her, but like you said, a really smart move there to kind of take the wind out of the sails a little bit. And she finishes again at the rim.
15 for freshman Omega Peyton.
Good D.
Cummings comes away with the rebound, and now City of Life can feel it. Approaching 1 minute to go and a comfortable 17-point lead. Still going through scenarios right now?
Yes, the head coach, you are. Maybe you can relax now.
Throw it up to Cummings. Ticking down near a half minute. Yasmin Perez with the steal.
Score, timeout, get your subs in. No.
Not much has fallen at that end of the floor in the fourth quarter for City of Life Christian, but it is not going to matter in the final results. A lot of contact there on Perez. The officials have pretty much decided we're just done calling fouls here. Final seconds tick away, and the celebration has begun for City of Life Christian. A state champion for the first time ever. And even after the victory, Deary Buggs is still coaching.
Lessons don't end with the buzzer.
For a school that's never won a title before, it's a pretty muted celebration.
It really is. Been there, done that.
They're going to the bench as though they're ready to be scolded for their poor performance.
Smile, girls. You're state champions.
A little something there from Kiani Cummings. Now these two Christian schools will circle up at half court. Faith, such a big part of each of these institutions. Well, from the outset, it felt like City of Life Christian was the superior team, and even though they had to withstand a big run late from Calvary, they end up winning their first ever title.
Yeah, it never seemed in doubt to us. I'm sure it did at times to Coach Buggs, but it really seemed like the Warriors were going to take this one from the get-go.
Congratulations to City of Life Christian. The small private school in Kissimmee can now claim a state basketball championship for the first time. 51-34 the final for Travis Jones and our entire crew, led by producer Chris McCulley and director Mike Catolo. Austin Lyons saying so long from Lakeland. City of Life Christian is the 2A girls basketball champion.